Yes, let's talk Melrose. Good evening. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire.
And I'm Eugenie Gibbons.
And this is Let's Talk Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose. And we've got a passerby who is going to check the replay later on because we have the replays on Facebook. There's a lot to talk about this week. A quick rundown. Essex Street Development meeting happening tonight. Paul Broder's seat, the date's been set for the election that he vacated at the State House. Mm-hmm. There's a new city council president coming in for next year. 2020 school year start date has been established. We want to talk about hashtag mug life, which is a big thing brewing in Melrose these days, and the dope hullabaloo that's coming up. There's so much going on. We've got two special guests. In addition to that, Jenna Santos is here, MHS grad who's gone off to do many wonderful things we're going to talk about, and Lauren Grimmick from the Chamber of Commerce.
The Chamber of Commerce.
Full house.
The Chamber of Commerce.
I love that name.
Yeah.
I wish we had a name that good.
No, come on. But don't.
I'm excited about the show, but I got to tell you, I'm a little bit tired. So Thanksgiving came late.
I thought we were going to have a dad joke just then. I'm sorry. Tell us why you're tired.
No, this is my life, Eugene. No, Thanksgiving came late, as we all know. There's not much time till Christmas, but we want to get in the spirit. Last night, my wife and I watched 3 Christmas movies back to back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fortunately, I was the one facing the TV.
Oh, I was right. A dad joke was coming. That's a preview.
That's
a
good.
Preview.
Is that for the news?
Now it's time for the news.
For the news.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, good.
I think that was a preview of what folks will get this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was foreshadowing.
Nice.
That's what we say in the business.
All right. I like it. In the
You
biz.
look like you're in the business. You look like a newscaster now.
What
From like
What kind of
1975.
business are you in?
I look like I'm in some kind of business. We're not sure what.
It's true.
Maybe the folks in Facebook land could throw in some comments and suggestions, always looking for new opportunities. So the Essex Street development, this was the one we talked about briefly last week.
Yep.
12 to 16 Essex Street, something like that. The Historic District Commission, it's under their purview, as we talked about when we did the overview in the building segment. And the thing I saw on this, I guess they're having another meeting tonight, continuing the conversation. And what I saw was I follow Kate Lipper-Garabedian on Facebook, and she posted that she actually shared a letter to the commission in support of the project. So I thought that was a little interesting update to see somebody else weigh in, a city councilor.
Yes.
Yep. And you can see her, if you check her page, she's posted it. You can see her recommendation and what she had to say about that, right?
Yeah, and I haven't studied this deeply, but my sense is move forward, respect the past. And I saw some mock-ups and some diagrams that looked very nice. And she talked about some updates, or the project is talking about updates for environmental reasons, accessibility, and other things that we talk about around here.
Yep. I think you can accomplish it all.
I think so.
Yeah.
So there's a segue in there because Kate's running for Paul Broder's
That's excellent.
seat. Yeah, didn't
Well
you?
done.
Actually, 2 segues. You mentioned accessibility, which is coming later, too.
That's
You're
coming later.
excellent.
Foreshadowing.
You are so
Hashtag
good.
foreshadowing is tonight's keyword.
So good. Yeah. Yes, this week, last week. I don't even know what week it is anymore. The
I know.
snow day kind of threw me for a loop.
yeah.
The short week with Thanksgiving, the snow day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the point is that it was announced the date for a special election to find somebody to vote for somebody to fill Paul Broder's seat, and there were several seats that were vacated with this last election, but it's coming up in
March 3rd. Right?
March
3rd, 2020, which I guess is the same day as the Democratic presidential primary.
Yep.
So, and I think there's actually a primary for this before you get to that. That date is like the final vote to elect the person into office, according to the internet.
According to the interwebs.
And what's the date of the primary? Do we know?
It's somewhere lost in the details. Steve Gazella probably is going to weigh in on the comment section on this and let us know. But there is a date.
Okay. I thought it was in February.
Some weeks before that. That could be.
Okay.
It could be.
So, and then congratulations to Jen Gregoritis, the next city council president. Did I say her name correctly at all? Yeah. Okay, great.
They'll correct us if we didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll correct
Well,
us if we did.
right, exactly.
So they had
exactly.
they had the caucus for the incoming city council, which we know is like the unofficial vote. We learned a couple of years ago when Mayor Dolan vacated his seat. We learned that was not official until the group was sworn in and voted officially in January. And I guess the hubbub on this is she is newly elected to the board, Ward 6 city councilor. And rather than somebody who, Kate or John Tramatazzi, who's been there for a number of years, the council decided to go with somebody new.
Yeah.
And my understanding is the president gets to. So I was like, well, what does that mean? Is it really that big of a deal to be the president? And I think it's yes and no. I did learn that the president assigns committee chairs and populates all the committees of the board, and I think has some agenda setting capability in terms of introducing orders, but I don't know how significant that role is. I don't know if you have any thoughts on newbie versus old timer on the, or more seasoned.
Old timer.
I was on the process of correcting my.
Someone with more.
Well, I am
tenure.
an old timer, so I feel like I have a
so you
little
get to
license
say
to that.
We have a pretty young city council. I mean, young in the sense that we have a lot of new folks who are joining the city council.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Jen G. I think
Yes.
that's exciting for her, and we will see kind of where things go in the next couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
they'll be sworn in next month.
All right, great.
I think you put this one on the list.
Yeah,
of
so the
school
next
start
one, so
date.
we just learned the state,
It is
the
February
primary
4th.
is February 4th. Okay,
Yeah.
thank
Did that
you.
come in from Steve?
Thank you, fabulous producers. So the school committee voted on the start date for the 2020 school year calendar, and the choices were August 26th or September 2nd, because, Labor Day shifts here and there. And so,
Yes.
I have to say I approve of the September 2nd. I would have, I think, homeschooled my kids if they were going to start to go to school August 26th. I don't know how you guys feel, but I hate August school. That's just wrong.
Really?
I have friends.
I hate it.
I don't mind it.
I hate it.
I have friends who live in Atlanta, and they start in.
But we don't live in Atlanta. We live in a place in New England. We live in Melrose, where the nicest day of the whole year is the end of August. Nicest week of the whole year is the end of August. I want to be on vacation still.
That's true. Although when you have small kids and you have to deal with summer camps and all that stuff, the last week is kind of like, all right, what can we pull together to kind of keep everybody structured before school starts? So I'm fine either way, but I would have been fine starting earlier.
Yeah.
Reduced rate on summer rentals, if you're into that sort of thing, with the later date.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
okay.
it's also my birthday at the end of August too, so I want to be like doing something fun.
Oh yeah,
Whoa.
party.
I don't
You
wanna
will
have
be.
to-
We'll be partying.
I don't want to have to worry about starting school and making, get breakfast and yelling at kids to get out the door and stuff like that. I still want
I
to be
know
hanging.
your kids. You're not yelling at anybody over there. Those
Clara
girls.
Martin out there, if you'd like to weigh in on that, she, I think, would disagree.
Hey, your birthday doesn't happen to be on a Tuesday night by any chance this year, does it?
No, I don't know, but we will celebrate
Let's
it
look
then.
that up.
Yeah.
Okay, now on to other news. Mug Life. The Let's Talk Melrose mugs are on sale downtown Melrose on Main Street at Buckaloo's.
On sale, they're flying off the shelves like
Yeah.
hotcakes.
Selling like hotcakes.
Hottest thing.
Hotcakes.
Selling like hotcakes.
I was there for Small Business Saturday, and a couple people came in and said, "Oh, I need to get the Let's Talk Melrose mug." I was like, "Yeah,
You do.
So you do. There's only a few left.
Yeah, there was a lot of activity downtown for Small
great.
Business Saturday, which was fantastic. And the mugs are selling. I did check inventory. I talked to Michelle Carson before we came on the air. There's a few left, so get out there, get your shopping done. Great holiday gift.
Absolutely.
Okay, the last thing it says here before we start talking to guests is to promote the
You gotta say the whole thing. Can you do it?
Yes.
Okay.
BT's Backyard Barbecue and MMTV present Let's Talk Melrose Dope Holiday Hullabaloo 2019.
Yeah. Woo.
Party and live show. In support of the City of Melrose Mayor's Emergency Fund. So it's a fundraiser and a party. And as our producers have said, it's going to be business in the back, party in the front. So we'll have a show, an hour and a half show out back with talent. We're lining up talent. We've got circus performers. We've got live music. We've got what else have we got lined up? We're lining up a whole bunch of stuff. So
many things.
Yeah, we'll be doing a live show in the back.
Stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy, we think.
Not
and then,
me.
Yeah, sit down comedy,
Yeah.
and then there'll be a party out about here. A wine tasting. We're gonna have wine tasting. We're gonna have kindness punch. It's gonna be fun. So get your tickets on Eventbrite.
In true Let's Talk Melrose style, it's going to be
Off the
hook.
Nice.
Well done.
Okay.
All right.
I think we're ready to go. Are we ready to bring up our first guest? You have an introduction. I have the walk-up music, so we have to coordinate this. Do you want the walk-up music now? While she gets the headphones on, or do you want to? What do you want to do? Your call.
Give me a second to get started, and you can cue it up and maybe crescendo it or something like that.
Then she gets to listen to it.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you a question though first. Do you ever ask yourself, can't it be otherwise?
Sure.
Always. Every day.
Tom's like, is that a trick question? Okay, well, Jenna, our first guest, Jenna Santos, is going to ask us the same question with regard to issues on accessibility. So, Jenna Santos is a Melrose High School graduate, 2017 grad, and I'd like to add a Destination Imagination alum also. So, DI kids doing great things in the world. She's now studying biology and medical humanities at Boston College. She's back from recently studying abroad in New Zealand. You're going to need to put those on. In New Zealand, where she was watching Let's Talk Melrose all the way from New Zealand.
Yes.
Hi, Jenna.
We're worldwide.
Because of you, we're worldwide. So, welcome, Jenna. I understand that.
Wait a minute. We got to do the walk-up.
She needs
music.
walk-up music
Okay.
even though she's sitting down.
So as you're listening to your great walk-up music too, I'll tell
You can talk over it.
our friends, I'm going to tell our viewers. Jenna attended a talk by Sarah Hendren, an engineering and social design professor at Olin's College of Engineering, that deals with issues around accessibility.
Waved.
And in that talk, Jenna noticed that Sarah asked the question, can't it be otherwise? And Sarah's projects, some of her more notable projects are the Accessible Icon project that we're going to talk about. And her talk inspired you, Jenna, right, to start researching accessibility in your own community at BC and here in Melrose, right? So welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And Jenna reached out and asked us if she could come and talk to us about accessibility. So we're glad you're here.
Yeah, so I think Sarah Hendren was especially inspiring to me because her son is actually autistic and she's made her life mission to make the world more accessible. So you mentioned the accessibility icon, and it's actually on the public domain, and I just found out tonight that it's seen in Melrose CVS, which is very exciting.
It is very cool. You learned that here at Let's Talk Melrose.
That
Let's
is
be
true.
clear. Let's be clear about that. So why is this? why is the icon important? We're gonna show it. Do we have it?
Yep.
We're gonna show it. So why?
Production team is all over
Yep.
that.
There we go. So why is this icon important?
So Sarah was inspired to create this icon because she was talking to a friend of hers that was in a wheelchair, and she said that she calls herself disabled not because she's in a wheelchair, but because the world is full of stairs. And that inspired her to talk with some students down at Olin's to create an icon that shows a disabled person in action, kind of destigmatizing the idea of disability and making it clear that you can be active regardless of your ableness. So
Yeah, it's great. It's inspiring. So we're glad to see that here in Melrose already. Sarah is, like I said in the introduction, she's an engineering and social design artist. And if we have, we'll try to get her website up there if people want to check it out. It's she's so inspiring. Her work is so interesting. It's
so
a bit of
cool.
like industrial design and urban design, and it just kind of shows like the kinds of things that are possible and the sort of intersection between art and design and community engagement and accessibility is like. So I can understand why you would be so inspired. So I want to hear more about what you learned about. Real quick before we do that, though, we reached out to the City of Melrose City planners too, because Melrose, the issues of accessibility are part of the Melrose Forward vision plan, and so we wanted to give the city an opportunity to give us an update about how that's going and some of the things that they're working on, because we knew you were coming on. So as always, the city's been really helpful in providing us with some information. We reached out to Denise Gaffey, the city planner. I'm just going to give a super brief, because there's a lot. They provided a lot of details, so thank you to the city for that. But so the city, for sidewalk upgrades and road upgrades, the city always works to ensure that the upgrades meet ADA accessibility standards. There have been 6 new crosswalks with accessible curb ramps installed in the city, and sidewalks updated for accessibility on at least 5 streets in Melrose. The city's open space and recreation plan efforts to increase accessibility in Melrose Park. The Mary Livermore Park was recently remodeled to be ADA compliant. That's the park that's just up Upham Street, kind of behind, like if you're going east on Upham Street.
Okay.
The Melrose Historic District Commission that we mentioned earlier is also always involved looking at building improvements in terms of keeping our historic infrastructure, I guess, but also upgrading to ADA. And the city has made accessible entrances at locations like Melrose Bank, First United Methodist Church, the Melrose Post Office, Melrose City Hall, and Follow Your Art Community Center. So.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so we're getting. And what?
The city has done that. The city has
well, no, the Historic District Commission, like these are some projects that end up sort of being in their purview, I guess. Like the big yellow house for Follow Your Art, I'm sure has
I've been
some.
there,
yeah. So I think that they get involved and make sure that it's done kind of with
An ADA compliant way.
ADA compliant and in preserving Melrose's kind of character and all that. And then just one more quick thing. Horace Mann was upgraded, and then in 2018, the Melrose City Council approved an order to establish a commission on disability, and the new mayor, Paul Broder, is currently looking at folks to fill that commission. So that's sort of where we are according to the city. So
That's awesome.
yeah, plus the CVS thing now too.
I love that.
So Jenna, I'm curious, and before you heard this speaker and kind of were inspired by her, had you given thought to the accessibility of the world around you and maybe ways that you're able to move through a space differently than someone who is in a wheelchair or using a walking, something to assist them with walking or mobility?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think once I started my freshman year at Boston College, I lived at a satellite campus. So I had to commute via bus down Comm Ave every day, and I partially tore my ACL second semester, and it was difficult to just not even get on the bus. Like getting onto the bus was difficult. So I think that's when I started to think about different ways that the spaces in which we're part of communities, where we learn, where we work, are accessible for everyone. And I think the way I started to think about accessibility differently, because accessibility isn't necessarily a ramp in the back. It might be that equal opportunity for both a disabled person and an able-bodied person to walk in the front door. And I understand sometimes that's hard depending on the way that a building was structured a long time ago. I know that BC2, researching the architecture and ancient design of some of the buildings there, it was almost nearly impossible to put ramps in, but obviously they made accommodations, but it's not as great as it could be. And the school's definitely working on getting better about it. And so when I defined my minor, which is medical humanities, we have the opportunity to concentrate. And after seeing Sarah Hendren, listening to her, I got really into her research. She actually created ramps for disabled dancers to dance with their wheelchairs, and watching that video was so beautiful that I was really inspired to learn more, to see just the little things that we could do in our communities to make them more accessible.
That's awesome.
That's great. You mentioned accessibility and also equity. About like ramps are usually sort of put in the back, or it's a different entrance and things like that. And one example here in Melrose, and I just heard this story recently, and I'm sorry I can't remember who told me, but so Follow Your Art Community Studios, the Big Yellow House, is a perfect example of that, because when they looked at it, I think the original plan, this is what I've heard, the original plan was to have the ramp in the back, and kudos to Chris Rodolico said, no way, this is we're building the we have a
I
call.
think we have a caller weighing in.
We're building.
I was going to say, you'll quickly be
this,
correct.
This is the Melrose's community art center.
Hello,
Everyone's
caller. Hang on 1 second.
Everyone's going to come in the front door, and so they spent more money to build it in the front. So I just thought that was really cool. I can't remember who told me that story.
Caller, you are live on the air with the cast and crew of Let's Talk Melrose. What do you have to say tonight?
Oh, I didn't know it was a phone-in show. I was just calling your general number. I wish you all good cheer for being there on a cold night.
That's great.
It is cold. We have hot cocoa and cookies,
All
though.
right, bye-bye.
Thanks for
All right, have a great night.
Thanks
You
for
too.
your concern. Okay.
That was a good call.
That's one of our best calls. Fan of the show.
Efficient.
Big fan of the show.
Big fan.
First time, long time listener, first time caller.
Future fan. That's a future
Yes,
fan.
totally. Sorry.
It's total chaos. I have 1,000 questions, but I'm actually
Right.
trying to keep a cough from coming up.
You know what? What was the phrase you talked about? It's not that I'm disabled. It's that there's too many stairs in the world. Could you repeat that?
So Sarah
one for me?
Hendren's friend, she says her friend in a wheelchair had said, "I'm not disabled because I'm in a wheelchair. It's because the world is full of stairs."
I think that's to
Yeah.
me that's the essential message I'm
Yeah.
learning is that we haven't done this properly. So now you're
Right.
trying to retrofit what should have always been the case.
Yeah.
A day like yesterday today is a easy reminder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Just being fully able-bodied, walking around in the snow, there's a lot of issues with that. Depends on the timing of the storm, and I can't imagine being in a wheelchair or crutches. Even just when my kids were at MHS, different times they were on crutches, and that's even a big deal at the school. How do you get
Yeah.
if you're able to drive? How do you get to in the front door? And they have to get an elevator pass, and that's like a whole special thing, and all of that. So it's more the exception than the rule, where it's even possible.
There was a Walk Boston. Are you familiar with Walk Boston, the organization in Boston, which they focus on mobility and making sure folks have different choices of getting around. They posted something on Twitter recently where they were following a woman who is in a wheelchair around for a few days after a snowstorm, and it really drives the point home that, you can't. The curb cuts are covered. You can't get onto the sidewalk. You're moving in the street alongside a bus, alongside a car. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's literally taking your life and putting it, into your own hands or whatever. But so I love the idea that you are focusing on finding a way to really make this a part of our everyday planning and building out of spaces and making it more inclusive and more equitable.
Well, it needs to be a series of persistent incremental improvements, right? So the design flaws are there everywhere, but we have to persist at that. So you talk about curb cuts being covered by snow. There was a time when there weren't this many curb cuts, and there's still not enough. So it's like...
Is that back when this jacket was first purchased? Sorry.
So yeah,
Let's
things
not
are improving.
disrespect the jacket. We haven't even
More.
got to that
I know,
segment
more
of the
on
show
that,
yet.
more on that,
More on that.
more on that
now
soon.
Now you're foreshadowing.
Yeah, so you had talked too about some of the ideas that you had learned about of like sort of
Yeah.
I don't want to say I was about to say quick and easy, but it's I mean nothing is like that, but things that we can do in the community, right, and things that we can look forward to. So
Yeah.
what were some of those things that you learned?
Well, just to preface, obviously, fiscally making a community more accessible is the first challenge. And I think to go even more upstream from that, it's awareness, which is what this is right now, and additionally education. So how the future engineers of tomorrow, architects, are taught at a young age what accessibility is and what that means. And that starts at the community level and even in families and conversations at dinner. And beyond that, too, there's solutions. So, for example, there's a Canadian nonprofit that was started in 2013, and it's called the Stopgap Foundation. And basically, this man attempts to go around and he starts projects. They're called community ramp projects, where an individual from a community comes forward and expresses the need for ramps on a main street or in an area, and there's a handbook and a framework that the community can go by. And the best part is that it's free. And there are 8 keys to the Stopgap Foundation and the Community Ramp Project, but essentially it's to engage the entire community to address the frustrations of those who don't have the same access in a community, and also to, on top of that, to educate and make it fun. So they use local resources.
We can help there.
Yes.
Yeah. And in my own research, it's very challenging to find free resources. When I was abroad, Facebook was my main source of news for the community.
Including this show.
And Let's Talk
Especially
Melrose.
this
Yeah.
show. And
We're never going to let that slide.
Oh, no, we're worldwide.
Dunedin, New Zealand is very far away. It's like 10,000
That's about as far
away.
as you can get.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say the sun never sets on Let's Talk Melrose.
That's
British
fair.
Empire.
But while I was there, I was watching a video that Paul Broder had posted about the ramp that was in the back of the library, and I was so excited because it was nice to finally see that there was attention being put there. Not that it gets ignored, but sometimes it gets put on the back burner when there are larger pressing issues. But I think this is definitely an issue, or a low-hanging fruit, as we might say. So
Yeah, there's things.
You know, the
things
other
can be
thing
done.
that I am struck by, and it may be because as people I love and care about are aging, they're becoming reliant on canes or walkers. You don't necessarily have to be wheelchair bound to be able to access a place.
Right.
But accessibility, you know, it cuts across generations. It cuts across different types of levels of ability and what your needs are. You might, honestly, accessibility on a snowy sidewalk affects a mom trying to push a stroller,
Right.
you know, after a storm.
Yeah.
So that seems to me to be a way to, it lends itself to having the conversation with many people and trying to engage many different folks in a bunch of different ways. So,
So I think the awareness thing is key. I hope we're helping with that a little bit tonight.
certainly.
Yeah.
That's where I was when I was processing the whole Melrose straw ban thing. I was like, does that really make a difference? But you know what? I came to realize it raises awareness. So even taking a small issue and putting it forward and making it part of the conversation, we hope we've helped with that a little bit today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
keep us posted on the work that you're doing, and
For sure.
and keep coming back, keep watching, and keep coming back to Melrose.
we'll see you at the Dope Holiday Hullabaloo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Cool.
And thanks for staying engaged with the community.
Yeah.
You're off at school, and there's a million other things to get involved in. And it's great that that some of Melrose's graduates are still thinking about giving back to the community.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Jenna.
See you soon.
Bye.
All right. That was awesome.
So one thing I want to say is that that commission was interesting that started in 2018, and sounds like we're still looking for people to go on it.
I know.
And some of the candidates, I don't know if it was Paul Broder or others, were definitely talking about on their hit list to advertise those commission openings when they become available,
Yeah.
because there's so many great resources, so many great people in this community
Well-
that would be interested and able and willing to step up and participate.
There's one right there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I agree. And I think this is an opportunity. I would add to that and say this is an opportunity. There's a lot of the things that we heard from the city update. It was about kind of, coming into compliance and things like that. And that's great. I understand that we need to do that. But if you think about compliance, I mean, what that means is you're like, okay, check, we're following the rules, right? Like we are compliant in all these things. And that's a great place to start, and we need to do that.
We want to pursue the spirit.
But I want to see someone on this commission. I mean, do we have folks like Sarah in the world, or the future Jennas, that are going to bring the next level of ideas of like
Current
things
Jenna,
that, the current Jenna is going to be on that commission.
Participate.
Exactly.
She's watching the show from New Zealand.
I
She'll
know.
figure out how to help that commission.
Exactly. So we need folks like that who are going to go next level and think about like these really sort of creative solutions that just make us.
I got to get on one of these commissions just because I want to be called commissioner.
Okay.
Commissioner
call you
Catalina.
Commissioner Catalini. We'll find one. We'll find one for you. Look out, Melrose. Okay, so let's move on. We're always chocked full of.
Let's bring our next guest
Yeah.
on. I think you have the intro again.
Hi.
I'm going to do the
Hi.
walk-up music at the same time. It's all going to work. She's going to come up with the headsets on.
Everything's going to work. Okay, so this weekend is Melrose Chamber of Commerce, the home for the holidays. I'm so excited. Hi, Lauren. The Chamber of Commerce is a 300-member strong organization helping to advance the economic activity of Melrose. And you might know the Chamber of Commerce from some of the fun events that we all get to go to, like the Victorian Fair, the Summer Stroll, downtown trick-or-treating, and, of course, home for the holidays. So there we go. So today we have Lauren Greimek, Executive
Hi.
Director of the Chamber.
That's
Welcome.
me.
And we should also add sort of fellow co-host, because
Yes.
Lauren also has a show on MMTV.
Chamber Chat.
Who
Chamber
doesn't?
Chat.
Who doesn't have a show on Chamber Chat?
I love it. It's nice to be a guest.
Awesome.
So,
Anybody,
thank you.
if it isn't proof enough that we're here, anybody can have a show on MMTV.
That doesn't
by the way,
apply
if you're
to you.
interested.
That's just in our case.
So thank you for providing us with year-round fun and activities.
Oh, my pleasure.
And
Thanks for coming.
This is a fun time to have you on to talk about home for the holidays.
It's definitely my favorite time of the year in Chamber World, as I call it. We do a lot of events, as you guys know. But, this is like an awesome tradition. It's been happening for over 20 years, and it kind of started small with a couple people that said, hey, Melrose is awesome. Let's try to get some holiday spirit going. And now it's grown. We've added
Yeah.
trolleys and sponsors and trolley guides. We have Tom Catalini is one of our trolley guides.
So and I'm happy to do it. It's so much fun. My co-trolley guide person is Bill Butler of Melrose Scoop fame. He's the OG of Facebook Live media.
Yeah, it's true.
That is Melrose centric,
Yeah.
and we have a blast doing it. It's so much fun.
So see if you so that's the trolley to be on, apparently. So see if you can
Yep.
get
They're-
on it.
they're all
The
great.
Butler Catalini trolley. Yeah,
They're
it's
all
really
great.
fun.
The only person who doesn't like our trolley is the driver we've had for the last 2 years, because we have a little shtick and it works if you're riding from stop to stop. But if you're taking us around and around and around,
You keep hearing
He
it
gets-
over and over.
my impression.
He gets sick
I'm
of
not
you. I get that.
Listen, I'm not a body language expert, but my read on it is he's maybe after first loop and a half.
Maybe
he's-
you should
he's
give
sort of
him
done.
some earplugs this year.
Right.
Maybe you
He's
should
got-
give him
he's gotta-
some,
He's going to drive the thing.
He doesn't have to listen to the.
Give him some of your
jokes.
reindeer, your antlers that you brought in earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Make it festive.
So what do we get to look forward to?
Sure.
this
So
year? What's going on this
I mean, it
weekend?
all starts Friday night with the tree lighting at City Hall. Now with Mayor Broder, his first tree lighting as
Wow.
mayor, which is pretty exciting.
Don't mess it up, Mayor Broder.
Don't mess it up. I have a script for him. He's going to be good.
Okay.
We also have a lot of different entertainment. So we've added local duo Main Street News. A lot of you guys know Main Street News from the Summer Stroll, from the Farmers Market. So they kind of lead some caroling, on City Hall. We'll light the tree, and then we'll all go to downtown Melrose, where Santa himself arrives on a fire truck.
That's
Now,
so
our-
cool.
So
and
it's
with
pretty
the, and
badass.
with a drum line, is that happening?
With the drum
I
line.
love
so that,
that.
I'm glad you pointed that out. So
Yeah.
last year, we're always looking to add something every year to Home for the Holidays, and we had that Melrose High marching band. Oh, he's here already.
Look who's here.
Don't forget. Oh boy.
Santa's here early. Let's
Selfie
talk
with Let's Talk
Melrose.
Melrose.
Yes.
Melrose.
That is awesome. Oh, he's
I thought he wasn't coming till Friday.
Oh my God!
December 17th. You got the wrong date, dude.
Magic happens here.
No, he's also going to be here on the
never know.
17th.
Magic
So-
happens.
I thought he was
Forgot.
I
He's
thought
got
he
a
was-
lot of dates.
I thought he was coming into town on Friday,
He is.
and we definitely booked him for the 17th. So
Yeah, he's going to be here on the
a little
17th
more
for sure.
for the
He's,
dope holiday.
he's just warming up. He's just warming up.
Ooh, Santa, I was not ready for him.
Yeah. We weren't either.
I know you
So
have.
back to that part about how anybody can have a show on MMTV.
There we go.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
So the Melrose High Marching Band, the drummers. We have a drum line now. The drum line leads Santa with the fire truck. So we added that last year.
So cool.
The students are so talented, so we're super excited to have them back again. We'll also have some students from the band playing some Christmas carols in downtown Melrose. We'll have a DJ. So we've got a lot of different entertainment Friday night. And then Saturday, as we talked about, is the trolley rides around Melrose. There's so much happening. So many stops, so much to do.
What are the hours on Saturday?
10 to 2.
10 to 2 on
10
Saturday.
to 2, yep.
Are you worried the new mayor might screw everything up on Friday? No.
The tree light, you know.
I found out they told us
He's watching.
He's watching.
Don't screw up the tree lighting. Oh man.
I think Paul can handle it.
All he has to do is say 1, 2, 3, light the tree, and then it should go on.
Okay.
So
All right. Fingers crossed.
he's also a trolley guide too. So
Awesome.
longtime trolley guide, and then he's got to get to the football game. Go Super Bowl.
yeah,
go
yeah,
Melrose.
go
I have to
Melrose.
say, he's everywhere and has been for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every place I've gone around Melrose, and you
Yeah.
follow him on Twitter, Facebook for years, he's always
Always there.
got
He's
his-
at everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can help us introduce some of the
merch.
It's not merch. Well,
No,
it's
well,
merch
this is-
raffle
prizes?
This
raffle
is-
merch.
Yeah,
for
this is for the Lincoln
homegrown for the holidays.
Yep. There's a
for
trolley
the-
stop at the Lincoln School.
Yep, also part of Home for the Holidays. So you have the I'm
I'm gonna
sorry, I don't
do
remember
it
the
in
guys.
my upcoming.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Oh, good, because I can't remember the guy's name. So a famous person. Oh.
Enos Cantor,
Okay, thank you.
basketball player.
Some jingling all the way.
So the chamber does so many cool things,
Yes.
like all throughout the year. Not like you actually do very
we
cool
do.
things
Yeah.
all throughout the year.
Yep.
And
the big
I'm
events.
always struck by how many events you
Sure.
all get going. I mean, it takes a lot to pull
Yeah.
off a big event, and they're always big.
You
and
know,
they're great.
I think so. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, so not my first rodeo. But I think one thing that I notice with each event is like, yes, the chamber is kind of coordinating, executing, but we're like pulling in volunteers like Tom and Bill and Paul Broder and others who are like helping us out. And then we've got the city, we've got an awesome DPW, police, fire, the mayor's office. Like anything I need, I'm like, I need the street clothes, I need some sawhorses. Like they're so good. So it's truly like a community effort. We could not pull it off without the help of all these people. Sponsors, the businesses give so much to the community and to our events.
I was going to ask,
So-
that must take some money to run the basic operations, rent trolleys.
Oh,
and-
for sure,
and
for sure. I
do
mean,
all
the
these
trolleys
things.
are free for people. Our
Right.
guides are
Yes.
providing free services
Yeah.
as well. So local businesses sponsor the trolleys, and all of our events. We
So-
couldn't put it off without them.
I just want to go back to the whole accessibility thing for a second and that commission. I think if you give people the opportunity to participate in Melrose, again and again they step up, and so it would be great to see that on those commissions, just as you guys are the catalyst for this. It takes money,
Sure.
coordination, logistics, you're working hard at it, but it is great to hear that you're getting that support from the community in
you just have to
different
ask.
ways.
You just have to ask people and say, is this a good fit for you? What can you? And then people want to help, which I've learned, and it's awesome. So every year I get some new people in the mix, and it's a lot of fun.
So my kids are too old for a lot of the events. They've aged out or they've literally moved out of town.
Sure.
So this is a way for me to participate the last few years and to do that with Bill. It's a lot of fun, and it's just great to be in town and sort of celebrating. And the trolleys go to the different business districts.
Yeah.
So it helps get some traffic through those different business areas, and a lot of the churches and other organizations have things happening. So there's a reason to go to all those stops.
Yeah.
Right.
and see
Yeah,
what's
it is
going
really
on.
fun. It is really fun.
Yeah, the businesses, they plan different things. They want you to come in. They want you to obviously shop locally or do business locally. But I think they understand that this is a way to give back to the community. They want to just have, a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas. So
My experience has been more celebration and more the businesses giving back than it is there. I don't feel like I'm asked to buy anything on this whole Home for the Holidays things. There's opportunities to participate financially, but it's a lot of like have a free cookie, do this, do that sort of thing at all the different events. I'm a huge Home for the Holidays.
I know, me too.
Have been for a
I
long
love
time.
it. Yeah, I love it. My family was trying to plan something for this weekend, and I was like, no, it's Home for the Holidays. It's crazy. Oh, and the Christmas tree sales too. Like you can
Yep.
buy your Christmas tree this weekend. There's two. The Melrose Band
Yep.
has their Christmas tree sale this weekend.
Yep,
So-
Melrose Band, St. Mary's
and
School.
St. Mary's too,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
So there's
I
a
thought
couple
there's
ways
plenty
to
of places to buy your tree.
support local organizations.
Yeah, if you haven't already.
Yeah.
So what's the hardest part of Home for the Holidays is coming up? What's the hardest part of pulling off this event, making it a success?
Of Home for the Holidays? I think the hardest part is actually the Friday night. There's a lot that happens behind the
at
scenes
once.
between like 5 o'clock and 7:30, between street closures and getting Santa ready and the drummers and making sure the mayor is right. And we've got lights going on and off and signaling them at just the exact time. So I'll be wearing a Santa security outfit this year
Nice.
to
Okay,
help
cool.
escort Santa so people know that I'm with the big guy.
Nice.
My
You're like the
colleague Jed
Santa
Manning and I.
bouncer.
Yep, Santa bouncer.
Santa
So,
handler.
Yep, I'm
Santa
definitely.
handler.
That sounds like
love
that sounds like a lesson learned from prior years.
It definitely is.
right.
It definitely is.
Right.
So there's a lot on Friday night, but it's all fun and it's a great time of year and it's great to see everybody come out for it. So
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to it. Well, we'll see you there.
we definitely
We'll
will.
see you there.
So just remind us all again. First events kick off Friday at
Friday around 5:30, 5:45, we'll do our Singing with Main Street News on the City Hall lawn, and followed by Santa's arrival in downtown. That kind of all wraps up by 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then on Saturday, the whole town is full with fairs and festivals and sales. Trolleys only run from 10 to 2, but lots of stuff happening all day long. The Nutcracker, and then things
the Nutcracker
things
too,
into
yeah.
Sunday, like your shirt.
Yep, we'll get to that, yep.
So we've got a lot of stuff happening all
Yeah,
weekend.
It's a great
so
weekend.
yeah.
awesome.
That's awesome.
So
Cool.
so join Tom's trolley and look for the rest of us around town.
Around
and-
town. We'll see
You know what?
around town.
And all the trolleys are great, but Trolley 2 Route B first shift might
Might be the best
Might be
one.
something
if
special.
you happen to connect with that one, could be good for a few laughs.
Awesome.
A lot of trivia, a lot of Christmas trivia, a lot of Melrose trivia, and a
good
couple of
time.
surprises I can't reveal.
Well, we appreciate it, so thank
online.
you.
It's so much fun. It's really
Thank you.
It is so much
Yeah,
fun to
thank
do.
you
And
for all you
we
do.
almost got you guys. We're getting you next year.
Yes,
so.
you will.
I know, yeah.
We
We had a
good-
shtick and everything, yeah. So
can't wait.
we'll just have more time to practice.
I don't know if the show existed at the time I registered for the trolley, but maybe we'll do a Let's Talk Melrose
Oh.
trolley.
Next year.
I don't know. Jen and I
I'm
have,
thinking like
We
a
have our thing.
flatbed truck and sort of a
I'm
studio.
only going to do that
and
if we
some
have a
kind
drum
of-
line bring us in.
maybe some way to celebrate
Basically,
enthusiastically.
it'll be a Let's Talk Melrose slash like it's home for the holidays slash Daytona Beach style spring break
You know what?
craziness coming down
Family
Main
friendly.
Street.
Family friendly.
Family friendly.
Oh, that we're not good at that.
You make a good point, and maybe a different time of year, because I sort of sense a Let's Talk Melrose day coming in the community
well,
where we
Lauren
just
was
shut
saying-
everything
you
down.
were saying
We
that
have the
you don't-
flatbed truck, live music.
she was saying that they don't have an event for March.
First
is that
quarter
like
of the
Mardi
year,
Gras?
we don't have
You
an
know,
event.
that's gloomy.
so-
Coincide
it's
with Mardi
gloomy
Gras?
It's gloomy in March. Check
That
your
gives Tom
calendars.
so
So-
much
check
time
your
to
calendars.
find
We're
new sound
available
effects.
between the 1st and the 31st.
Yes. Right.
I'll
So
put you
anytime
down.
in there would work for us.
We'll be in touch and we'll figure something out.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right,
But in the
thank-
meantime, we're super psyched for this
Yeah.
weekend.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks
being
for all your
here.
support.
We'll see you Friday.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
We also have hot chocolate and cookies tonight, which
So
is
is,
fabulous.
is this our first 2-hour show?
Oh my God!
I feel like
It just goes on and
feel
on
like
and
the
on.
production team
Yeah,
is.
and it's
is-
all us. Our guests are like informed and
Ready to
and
go,
tight,
yeah.
ready to go, and we're like, oh.
Yeah, there is a lesson in there. I think if you come prepared, you can actually. We could learn something from.
We can
from,
learn something from both of them. Thank
Yes.
you both to Jenna and Lauren for being here. Okay, so
Great guests. There's so much going on in Melrose. That's the thing.
that's the problem. Yeah.
There's too much to talk about.
I know. All right, but we should let's finish up. It's time for wins of the week and special events. That one's a
Don't-
no-brainer.
I
But
need. I want to do this. I'm going to come up with a wins of the week sound effect.
okay.
All right. Who wants to go first? Sounds like I'm going to go. First.
You're gonna go first.
Okay. Tom's win of the week.
Okay.
As of last night, this is a very personal one. I
Okay.
became a great uncle.
Aww.
My nephew and his wife had a baby girl, Madeline Irene, and we're very excited in the family. So that's
awesome.
I definitely
That's pretty
win for the
exciting.
week.
Congratulations.
And
That's
they're not Melrose residents yet, but there's always.
But
hope
but
for the
is
future.
baby Madeline watching the show?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I told her I'd give her a shot.
Okay, perfect.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations. That's very sweet.
Thank you.
Cool.
So now there's two meanings to the word great uncle. I'm a great uncle.
And a great,
Where's-
also
where's the-
technically,
Yeah, the
I'm also technically a great
air horn
uncle.
for that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
How
Good.
could I forget?
For your own air horn. Okay. So my win of the week, I would say, is Thanksgiving was just awesome. I had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for keeping that one there. My family goes around and we always talk about what we're thankful for, and everybody says family, which is true. I had to concur and say that I was thankful for my family, but this particular year, I also said that I was really, really thankful for my community and Melrose, because I'm having so much fun right now in Melrose and with this community and my Let's Talk Melrose MMTV family. And we played Family Feud at Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, that's
yeah,
right.
it was awesome.
The one you got to prepare for.
Yeah.
thing?
It's a card game that we used to practice. Yeah, so we played, and my team won. I'm just saying,
Of
defending
course.
the title.
Of course.
Just saying. So
That's
Yeah.
awesome, and it's a good message for the community because we make this look like a hard work, but it's actually a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. One last thing too, and I think you were going to mention this too as a win. Small Business Saturday.
Yes.
was really, really fun. I went downtown. There was a lot of stuff going on. There's a new shop open. There was all kinds of stuff going on everywhere, but there's a new shop open that one of our super fans, told us to check out. And so, viewers out there, we do listen. Some of us better than others.
Oh, we listen. We read the comments.
We read the
We're all
comments.
over it.
So we went and checked out. So I went and checked out Anna Donahue Interiors. It's right next to
Ooh,
Buckaloo's.
I love that label.
Yeah, look at this nice bag. They have she's an interior designer, and they have really cool home decor stuff in there too. Lots of different prices. Some of it's like kind of funky and eclectic, and some of it's like a little more mainstream, whatever. There seemed to be like a little something for everyone. I don't know who this is going to yet. But
Is that for me?
Maybe it might be. I don't know. We'll see. It's like an ornament. It looks like an ornament, but it's
Spoiler alert.
But it's a candle. Yeah. So it was. They
That's
were
awesome.
really, really cool stuff. So they're a new business in town, and I went to check them out per viewer suggestion.
Very nice.
So I guess everybody in your gift-giving circle isn't necessarily watching this, so it's pretty safe to reveal that.
Yeah.
time.
It might just be for me.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
My win for the week. Oh, I have a little cold. My win for the week is also personal. But not as personal as yours. It wasn't as sweet as that. No, my village, my mommy village. I got stuck yesterday without snow boots to fit my oldest.
Oh.
And my dear friend Sarah, who also came through with the Cruella de Vil costume, came
Yes.
through with a pair of boots. So my daughter
Cool.
was not pleased with me, but literally at 7:00 in the morning, she ran over and was like, "I've got you." So Sarah, if you're watching,
Nice,
you're my win
nice.
of the week.
That's
Yeah.
I get that. I
Yeah.
have kids that are growing so fast that we tried on snow pants today that have the tags on them from last year that
Yes.
don't fit.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
yeah. I have every other size,
Yeah,
except
of
for the
course.
one that they
Right, of
needed.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
So
All right, upcoming event.
Yeah.
Home for the holidays. Got anything to add?
Yeah, I do actually. This one, here, I'll do this. So, what do you want to ask me about my T-shirt?
oh,
Yes.
tell us about your T-shirt, Jen.
I would love to tell you about.
Why are
my
you out of
T-shirt.
uniform tonight?
I know. So this coming weekend is the 3rd annual Melrose Open Studio Tours. Here's a little. I don't know if anybody can see that, but we're gonna put a link. We're gonna put a link to it as well, and it's on my T-shirt. Thank you to Melrose Open Studios and Demi Dubois for giving me some promo merch.
yeah, I
Sorry.
like T-shirts too. just
Yeah,
saying.
I know. I gave you guys pins. So Sunday, December 8th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., there are artists showing their work and opening up their studios all over Melrose. When they started in 2017, so this is their 3rd year. No, that doesn't make sense. But 48 artists now at 23 locations. They've doubled in size since they started, so it's really great. Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m., there's an opening reception at the Beebe Estate, and all of the artists have kind of representations of their work, like one or like a piece to look at, so that you can go and kind of see in advance like who you wanna go check out. And then the Beebe Estate is also open the next day. Sunday, the first half. So the Beebe Estate sort of serves as like the welcome center. So you can go, you can pick up a map. I'll show you this too. They have maps that show you where all the artists are. Those are available on the Melrose Open Studios Facebook page, at the BB Estate, also at Follow Your Art Community Studios, Hourglass, and Miter Biter. So it should be really
And
it
it's
should be
cool.
really fun.
It's another reminder of how many talented people actually live in this city.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I went last
So,
year. It was great.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give a quick shout out. The MHS band sale at the high school starts Friday night. St. Mary's is selling trees and wreaths as well. And the
Yeah.
Lincoln School Home for the Holidays is
Yeah.
got some great raffle items.
Right, which is actually, I was going to say the same thing for upcoming events. So homegrown for the holidays at the Lincoln School, which, as Lauren mentioned, is a stop on the trolley. Pop over there. Lots of cool things to take a look at. There are going to be prize baskets, raffles, and we have these signed sneakers, basketball sneakers, and a basketball shirt, Celtics shirt, signed by Ennis Cantor. So, who is a Celtic? If anybody is not aware, there were some folks who didn't know, but he is a wonderful Celtic. So that is Saturday. Hop on Tom's trolley, take it over to the Lincoln, check out Homegrown for the holidays. The other thing I wanted to mention is Lincoln Helping Hands. So long tradition of trying to support other families within the community at the Lincoln. If you are interested in our Lincoln family, you can go snag a helping hand little tag with, it'll have an item listed on it that a family might need, and you can purchase that item and return it to the Lincoln School office before the 13th of December, and that will go to a family who could use a little extra help this year.
I love that. They did that. Yeah, they did that when my kids were. I'm glad they're still doing that.
Yeah,
They did
it's
that
great.
when my kids were there. We did it every year. It was fabulous.
Awesome. All right. Like we got to wrap it up.
I know, it's been a long show. All right.
All right. So we'll see you around town.
everybody.